What's good? What's good? What up? Daniel Berry, appreciate you for dropping through. What up, Isaiah? What's good? What's good? Get this thing rolling on this Friday after the holiday. Know everybody's chilling. We're gonna pop this thing off, get in, get out, slide on over there, look at the more Sip to Tally Power rankings for the day, and enjoy our weekend, man. Week's been short. Hope everybody enjoyed their little break. If you had a break yesterday, I certainly enjoyed my little time with family and friends. Enjoyed it, needed it, needed it at the most. So let's get into our players, top 50 players, number 29 through 23. Few little housekeeping things. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do that. If you don't join the Patreon, you go to patreon.com/sip2tally. You can, we got 4 different tiers. You can join one of those. If you don't want to do that, you can hit that pinned comment and do that by supporting. You hit the donation, or you can do a super chat. Either one of those ways are welcome. If you don't want to do it, I understand, but if you do, greatly appreciate it. And if you do the tip or the super chat, you should get the animation should pop up to let everybody know what you did and how much you did. And if you type in a message, you should get a voice message that pops over the screen no matter what slide I'm in. So that's where we at. Oh, this Florida weather, boy. It was just sunny, super sunny, and now it's thundering. But let's go ahead and get this thing started. And we're going to start at number 29, work our way to number 23. And then we're going to get on out of here so we can get over to the more Sip to Tally Power ranking. So without further ado, let's dive into this thing. Let me change scenes and we can get rolling. I see why my chat ain't pop up. That's what I want to see, why my chat ain't pop up yet. Make sure I refresh everything over here. Close all these and I get started. Let me close all this and reopen it, then I get started. Bam. 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 Now, got them all back open. So let's see if that take care of the problem. First dude up, number 29, IvanEvans St. Brown. Wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, had a massive year. Got nice check because of it too. Him and Penei Sewell got played on the same day. They were back to back in this countdown. If you don't remember, Penei Sewell was number 30 on this countdown. IvanEvans St. Brown was number 20 on this countdown. Stats for IvanEvans St. Brown: 119 catches, 1,515 yards. He had a 3.3 drop percentage, and that was on 158 targets. He had 10 touchdowns. He was first team All-Pro, and he made the Pro Bowl. The difference in IvanEvans St. Brown is not only does he give you the regular down the field wide receiver stuff, what he added to his package this year was the stop game. And what I mean by the noun game. Matthew Stafford, if they play off of him, Matthew Stafford Jeff Goff. He can just raise up, throw the ball out there, and IvanEvans St. Brown is great at making people miss on those little tunnel screens, those noun screens, and all that kind of stuff. So he added that yardage to his game. And if you want to know why I know that, there's a video on this channel about IvanEvans St. Brown and where those extra yardages and how much better he got from last year to this year. That video is on this channel. And the thumbnail has this same image that you see now on it. So if you want to go check that out at a later date, please go do so. But that's for number 29. Got IvanEvans St. Brown and doing his thing. His best game of the year was week 10 versus the Chargers. He had 8 catches for 156 yards, 19.5 yards per catch, and a touchdown. And he does it all. Not just in the passing game. They'll get him on some jet sweeps and stuff like that. But for the most part, he's pretty much he'll give you everything he got at receiver. He runs all kind of routes. He beat you over the top, beat you intermediate. His main thing is intermediate, though. He ain't just a burner like that, and he makes people miss. As far as his missed tackles force, because he's so good in the short game, He got let me see if they even got that for receivers. Missed tackles force. He only got 21 of those, but trust me, he's different with it. And I probably could go this rushing, but I'm gonna just stick with receiving since he's a receiver. All right, let's go to number 28. Get that closed. Kyle Hamilton. Baltimore Ravens do everything, jack of all trades, defensive specialist, edge rusher, sometimes linebacker, sometimes safety, sometimes nickel. He just do everything for the Ravens, and it's Kyle Hamilton. So Kyle at 28, Kyle stat 72 tackles, 3 sacks, 4 interceptions, a touchdown. He was first team All Pro, and he made the Pro Bowl in just his second season. Kyle is one of them ones, as the kiddies say these days. Kyle is one of them ones. Kyle can change a game. I don't want to say by himself, but he can do so much. He's so versatile that when healthy, when on the field, you gotta account for him because he can play in the box, he can play on the edge, he can play at nickel, he can play at deep safety, he can play at like a box safety. He can do so much, and he can blitz from damn near any position. And he's a really good blitzer, a really good blitzer. As far as Kyle's best game, I want to say it's San Francisco. I just want to make sure I got my notes right. San Francisco. No, looking like Kyle's best game was the playoff game we lost. 12 tackles. No. Let me take that back. Because I forgot what Kelsey did in that first half. No, it ain't the playoff game we lost. I forgot what Kelsey did in that first half. I can't overstand that. So we're gonna go back to San Francisco. The San Francisco game, he had here it is. Why my computer doing this? Hold on. Give me a second. Computer acting up. There it is. He had three pass breakups that game, 4 tackles. He had a batted ball and 2 interceptions. That's why I wanted to go to the San Francisco. I knew he had the 2 interceptions, but when I saw those 12 tackles for KC, I wanted to go there, but I remembered he was getting cooked that first half. Well, all our DBs were getting cooked that first half. Second half, he played good football. And that's probably what most of them stats came in the second half defensively. But his best game was the San Francisco game where he had the 2 interceptions going forward. So number 28 is Kyle Hamilton. Let's bounce down to number 27. 27 on the list. And y'all can put, thumbs up, thumbs down, too high, too low. If you're watching it live with me right now, if you're watching the replay, put it in the comment section down there. But again, I appreciate you guys for joining me on this Friday afternoon before the weekend gets officially started up. 27, another Raven, Derrick Henry. Stats for Derrick last year: 1,167 yards, 12 TDs, 57 missed tackles forced, 930 yards after contact, and a Pro Bowler. Just look at this number, people. Look at this number. He had 11. Matter of fact, let me do a little math. Real quick. 1167 rushing yards total. 1167 yards total. 930 came after contact. Now the calculator don't want to act right. So all but 237 of his yards came, like, I don't want to say free yards, but they were free yards. 237 of his 1,167 yards was uncontacted yards, which is crazy. The man almost had 1,000 yards after the first person touched him, and 57 tackles, forced tackles missed. He ain't really juking nobody, so where them 57 tackles came from. Stiff arms are running over you, because Derrick Henry ain't out there. He going through you or stiff arming you. Crazy. And then they really They struggled with quarterback play. They kind of played three guys last year, so he didn't have the greatest continuity with quarterback play. But his best game last year was Week 4 in a win versus Cincinnati. He had 22 rushes for 122 yards and 5.5 yards per carry and a touchdown versus the Bengals. That was in a Week 4 game versus Cincinnati. And that was his best game last year. Let's slide on over to number 26. I think it's gonna be a big year for this dude right here, man. I really do. If he put this same number up this year, the impact's gonna be felt a lot more than it was in Tennessee. If he put the same rushing yard number up, that 1,167 yards is gonna be felt a lot differently than it was last year. Same exact number, but watch what I tell you. If he put that same exact number up, 26, Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie is technically the nickel corner for Kansas City, but probably the best nickel corner in the league. Probably, he only had one PBU, but he only allowed 490 yards the whole season, and they stayed in nickel most of the time. They were in nickel a great deal of the time. And I say that because as far as his percentage of snaps, let me go to it. My bad, wrong button. He still played 1,243 snaps. So it wasn't like he wasn't in the game. Because, most of the time when you talk about nickels, they play 40, 50, 60% of the snaps. He played all the snaps. Or damn near all the snaps. And so he only gave up less than 500 yards, passing. He had 70 tackles, 3 sacks, and he was first team All-Pro. Trent McDuffie, you can't really have a best game for him because jokers, they just really didn't test him like talking about it. This came late. The picture I gave you, I had to go find it. It took me forever because people don't really throw at the kid. He had 7 PBUs all year. So I guess if you want to take that game, it was this game right here versus San Francisco. He had 3 of them that game. 3 of his 7 all year came in this game. And I really wasn't pulling stats from playoffs. My stats, I was just pulling just regular season to try to keep everybody fair. But 3 of his 7 PBUs came in this game. So technically, he really had, let me see, 7 minus those 4. He really only had 3 PBUs all regular season. No, because this is wild card. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. He had 1 PBU in the regular season. Oh, I got it right there on my own grade. He had 1 PBU in the regular season. The rest of them came in the playoffs. That's when people threw at him. Hence being one of the best players in the NFL. Because in the regular season, people didn't test him. He's one of them ones. First team All-Pro to back it up. All right, let's go down to 25. Tristan Wirfs. The big fellas. Now, I made sure to not leave out the big fellas because they can easily be forgotten when you're doing stuff like this. Easily be forgotten because their impact on the game is sometimes forgotten because that credit normally goes to the running back when they, have big numbers. But offensive grade for Tristan Wirfs, 81.1. Pass block grade is 84.3. 2.2% pressure rate. Now, when we talk about pressures on this one, pressures consist of sacks, hurries, and QB hits. So, in 1,099 snaps, he gave up either a sack, a pressure, or a QB hit on 2.2% of those snaps. 2.2% of those snaps he gave up pressure. And that pressure consists of all 3 of those things. And that's why he's there. That's why he's where he's at in his top 50 players right there. Him, Penei Sewell, some other guys, the creme de la creme when it comes to tackles. And he's probably the lone wolf on that O-line from when they had their Super Bowl run. And he was a pup then. He was a pup. He might have been a rookie that year. Let me see. He's played 4 years, so he might have been a rookie that year they won it, or it was his second year. I can't remember exactly the year they won it. But he was a pup on that year that they won it. But, when we talk about O-linemen, they don't have a significant game because they're O-linemen. So let's move on to our next one. His teammate, Antoine Winfield Jr. If Kyle is not the best safety in the game, It's probably this dude. It's probably this dude. And if it's not one of them two dudes, I'd be hard pressed for you to tell me it's somebody else. It's another name or two out there that I'm thinking about, but the two dudes that's on today's countdown, they pretty darn good from the safety position. Antoine Wingfield, 114 tackles, 6 sacks, 3 interceptions, 7 PBUs, first team All Pro. He was 6th in Defensive Player of the Year voting this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He was 6th in Defensive Player of the Year voting this year, which is an amazing number for a safety. Normally, the people up front get all them votes. The sack guys, or if a linebacker has an ungodly amount, of tackles and interceptions a year. Safeties are trying to show their versatility and get in the conversation. Him, I promise you, he'll be in this conversation again next year. Kyle will be in this conversation again next year. And another guy we talked about Tuesday, Jesse Bates, will be in this conversation again next year. I promise you that. As far as the defensive player of the year, those 3 guys right there, they're special. They're some special players. All right. And the last dude for today, last guy for today, Sauce Man, Sauce Gardner, cornerback for the New York Jets. He had 57 tackles, 10 PBUs. He only allowed 251 yards all season. All season. First team All Pro and a Pro Bowl. Now, Sauce don't have a lot of stats at all, people. At all. I don't think he had interception. He didn't have interception this year at all. I'm looking at the stats right here to my left. Didn't have interception at all. Not one. But that's why I had to put the yards allowed in there, because he had the 10 PBUs. Once you get to a certain status, people stop throwing at you. And when they do throw at you, you better make the plays. And so the targets, look at his targets. He was only targeted 51 times out of 1,049 snaps this year. And not saying all of those snaps are passes now. That's not 1,000 passes. Just total snaps for the year. 1,049 total snaps. He was only targeted basically 50 times, which is crazy. That's a lot of respect on a third-year player. Am I correct? Second-year player. Nuts. Certified nuts. And to me, his best game would have to be, I would say, this game he scored a touchdown there versus Dallas. I think it was a fumble recovery that he scored. I think. Because people just don't test him. Like, then he had 2 PBUs versus Denver. He had 2 versus the Chargers. He had 2 versus who was it? Houston. Houston threw it around, so let's just say Houston, because he ain't got a lot of stats. It's hard to pick a best game for Sauce. But let's go back through it and see players 29 through 23. And you see 23 right there with the Sauce Gardner. 24 is Antoine Wingfield Jr. 25 is Tristan Wirfs. 26 is Trent McDuffie, the corner for Kansas City. 27 is Derrick Henry. 28, Kyle Hamilton. And 29, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think the list is coming together pretty good. More than halfway there, because we're in we're at 23. So we'll be, slowly bringing this on down. We'll come through with 22 through, I think, like maybe 15. 23 through 15 Tuesday. 15 through 8 Thursday. And then 8 through 1 the next Tuesday. So we got 3 more installments of this left, and then we'll end this thing like that. So I appreciate you guys for coming out, man. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to rock with me, and we're going to bounce on over to more Sip2Tally. Check out today's installment of the more Sip2Tally Power Rankings. I think we're on team number 15, if I'm not mistaken. We're on team number 15. So let's go over there and check that out, man. And I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, and I'll see y'all soon.